So I really like the sense of adventure in this week's episode of Made in Abyss. We're talking about episode 2 here. I like how we're kind of hearkening back to what made Made in Abyss so great, and that is that sense of adventure. That is that we don't know what's going on vibe, if that makes sense. And this episode was just chock full of it. I love the cooking segments. I really enjoyed sort of the story beats. I love the stuff that they brought back Orth. I really dig that. I love how there's kind of a sense of remembrance there. There's themes of longing, and I can really get behind that. I can really, understand that, because it feels like this show has been going continuously. It doesn't feel like there has been any sort of break whatsoever. It does feel like this is a continuous story, and the scene mentioning the kids at Orth and everything like that really sort of solidifies that, really sort of makes you think like, wow, this is a big sprawling adventure. It feels like that we have gone a long way, and it feels definitely like we've gone a long way for sure. So I should mention that I am not a manga reader. I have no clue what's about to happen, what's about to unfold here with this arc, and with the scorching city under the sun thing happening and these giant pluming explosions. At first I thought that it was like the incinerator. There's someone else that has an incinerator, but then I thought maybe this is more of a natural occurrence. This is why they call it the scorching city. There's these random spontaneous combustion nuclear bomb things happening that rain down hellfire. That's terrifying, by the way. I don't know, like it's scary, but the way the series kind of tiptoes around these like terrible scary things, it does it with finesse. I would say the direction, and I bet this goes to the original work as well. There's finesse in sort of how it handles these things that would be normally horrifying. Holy shit, fireballs falling from, upwards. That's scary. There's a giant, weird giraffe, snake, tiger thing. That's terrifying. Let's stay away from that. But I don't know. That creature can kill us. That creature can destroy us, but we are going to just walk past it. You know what? We're just going to leave it alone. This is a docile creature right now. Let's move along. I really like scenes like that. I really like that it goes the extra mile in making this layer feel like a living, breathing place. And that goes to the creatures, that goes to the fauna, and the overall architecture as well. There's so many excellent background shots in this episode of just our characters either moving down or moving across the screen, or perching and things like that. There's so many excellent shots that would just, it would be a dream to have any of those on my wall, to be honest with you. And I really, really love that stuff. Hats off to Citrus for really going, again, the extra mile to incorporate those within the episode, because it really encapsulates sort of the depth of it all. No pun intended. That sort of, this is actually happening. It feels like I'm there. And I do think that is important, and I think that's something that a lot of anime, they just don't bother, and there's a lot of disconnect, at least between, me, regarding how I view anime. There's a lot of disconnect, and I don't feel like this is a real living, breathing place. I don't feel like these are living, breathing characters. But Made in Abyss is quite different, and this episode proves it tenfold, in my opinion, and just how realized every little facet of this world is. Yeah, there's these weird creatures that lay these eggs, and we're gonna pan fry these creatures' eggs. We did that, and that's really, really cool. Hey, they're moving. Like, that's weird. That feels like something that could exist. I really like that stuff. So the meat of this episode, I'm assuming it's Hollows. The next episode is titled like The Forgotten Hollows or something along those lines. I think they're Hollows, but they definitely look bizarre and strange and gross, and it's scary, and they're hunting after them. Are they cannibals? Are they eating humans? That's scary. I don't really know, but I love this sort of fear and curiosity that our characters bestow. I really enjoy that aspect of this episode, that it's like, what is going on? What are these creatures? Why is our hair inside of this creature? And when we cut it open, the hair it's gross. It's really gross. but really, really well done in terms of its direction and sort of, again, furthering the themes of just not knowing, the themes of not knowing. I really, really enjoy that stuff. I think, again, as I mentioned, so many anime series really try to just push these things forward. Like, here's what we're about. Here, this is it. Where this series is like, we're not gonna really tell you what's going on. You don't know what's going on, and it's a fun ride for sure. As far as theories go, I have no clue. There's this weird, like, mechanical spider snake creature thing that possibly stole Prushka from Rico, and I don't know why. I don't know. It's listen, Made in Abyss is gross, right? Like, I I have a lot of thoughts about this episode. They introduced so many different things, and it incorporated so many previous themes and previous things that were in other episodes of the first season, with the cooking, with fear, with curiosity and exploration, and harkening back to Orth and things like that. And I really enjoyed this episode. You'll have to forgive me for my disjointed thoughts here. I literally just finished the episode. It's late at night. I got off work at like 12:30, and I'm pretty tired, but I enjoyed this episode a hell of a lot. There was a line that Nanachi says when they're sending up the balloon towards Orth that inevitably gets eaten by some gross bird snake creature. A lot of snake things happening. I feel like I've said snake like 12 times already in this video. A lot of creatures that incorporate features of a snake. That's cool, right? So I'm paraphrasing, but Nanachi basically says that if the Abyss can sort of conjure up our greatest fears, it can also conjure up our greatest wishes and our greatest dreams. And I really, really loved that line. I think it's one of the best lines that Nanachi has said so far in the series. And it really sort of encapsulates the entire series in a way. You know, how there is this, like, striving dream. There is this aspect of the series where, you know, we're trying to find Liza. We're trying to find Rico's mom. We're trying to get down to the bottom of this abyss. And there is that dream, and it does feel alive. It does feel like that is a possibility. But at the same time, it feels like it's not possible. It feels like this is not going to happen. It feels like all of these characters are going to die in this scorching city. Like, I don't know, there's like so many things that are constantly trying to kill you, but also there are so many blessings and fortunes in the Abyss as well, whether that's good food or good people, or just wonders, just absolute wonders of you know, natural order and things of that such. And I don't know, that line to me just like really hit home and how I view the entire series. So there are these hollows that are hunting after them. You know, it kind of reminds me when we first see them, when we entered this weird tree tower structure, snake-like structure. When we entered this really interesting structure, and there's all of these hollows that are all like messed up and grody and just kind of like falling apart. They're like walking. It honestly reminds me of Toy Story 2. Like, essentially, it feels like the broken toys, basically. Like, here's the weird baby head on a spider, and here's the action figure that's fused with a doll. Like, it kind of reminds me of that. Like, oh, they're coming out. Like, look all around you. Here's all these like damaged goods, basically. I don't know. I kind of really got a kick out of that scene where it's just like, here's a view of all these like weird, gross-looking creatures, monsters. And you know, here's Nanachi, who's also a hollow, who's just like cute and fluffy. So I don't know. I don't know like what differentiates them from her. And there's a line at the end of this episode that's kind of striking as well, where we cannot leave this place as we came, basically. Like, we're not going to return here as human beings. Something bad is going to happen. And I'm a little bit worried about that. I'm a little worried for our heroes, for sure. The opening premiered in this episode. It's the first time we've seen the opening. It is very much in the same flavor of the first opening, season 1's opening, I should say. But it is a very good song. It has excellent visuals. I love the duality between Waco and Rico, and sort of like them both entering this city and them both on this adventure that I don't know of Waco's purpose. I don't know what's going on her. I think that next episode we're going to kind of get some Waco backstory. Maybe she found this hollow, or maybe these hollows are them. I don't know. There's so many different theories that can happen. Again, I don't know how they're going to tie in the Waco stuff with the Rico stuff, because the first episode introduced a theme where basically Waco's in the past and Rico is now, and I don't know how you connect those in a meaningful way. I mean, I'm sure that Waco did something in this city, in the Golden City, that is going to affect Team Rico, I guess, in some significant way. I just don't know what that is. Or do these hollows know of Waco? Is Waco now a hollow? There's some characters in the opening that I do not recognize that are of the furry persuasion, so maybe that's a part of that. I have no idea. What was it, the three sages or whatever? Maybe there's their descendants of them. I'm not quite sure. I'm really excited to find out. I'm kind of like on the edge of my seat with this series and sort of its general pacing of storytelling. I really enjoy just traversing through this series. It reminds me again of the first season quite a bit. We're back in, man. We're back in. It feels like Made in Abyss is back, and that's such a great feeling. And Kevin Penkin is just doing an incredible job. This is a more digital soundtrack. This is more like an electronic kind of soundtrack. You know, it's done on synthesizers and things like that because of COVID, and you know, a lot of the new tracks aren't fully backed by an orchestra, and I like it a lot. I really do. It feels different. It feels different, but it definitely captures similar elements, and they're still using older tracks and things of that sort as well, as you should, because all of those tracks are flawless. But some of the newer tracks are so good. They're so good. It really just, like, there's tracks that encapsulate fear, curiosity, and dread, and I really enjoyed that. This was just a phenomenal episode, to be honest with you. I think it just, the first episode I think was a little weird. I think was a little jarring, and I enjoyed it. I really did. I really enjoyed the first episode, but the second episode, it's like, this is Made in Abyss, baby. Like, we're back in business. Like, we're moving forward now, and that feels important. I'm just a little worried about the Waco stuff. I'm a little worried on how that's, because in the opening, Waco seems like she's the main character of the series, and I'm curious, like, you know, going back and forth through timelines and like diverging stories can become a little hectic in terms of viewership. It can become a little heavy and a little bloated, and I don't want this series to become that. This series so far has been very light and airy, and you know, we're moving forward at all times, and there's not a lot of outside noise. You know, it's been very much about Rico, Reg, and now Nanachi, and now Waco, and I'm just a little concerned. That's all. Again, hesitantly concerned, I guess. But I have no reason to lose faith. You know, I do really enjoy this series so far. So, you know, all aboard. You know, I'm ready. I'm ready to see what this season has in store. So if you have any thoughts on this episode of Made in Abyss, make sure to comment down below and give it to me. Let me hear your theories. Let me, if you're a manga reader, no spoilers, of course, but give me your thoughts on sort of the adaptation of this series so far. Like, are they going at a pace that you appreciate, or is this, you know, it's moving a little too fast? Let me know in the comments below. Click like if you enjoyed this video. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe if you want to see more Made in Abyss content, and there's some cool stuff in the links down below, like my Twitter and my Twitch channel and things of that sort, if you're interested, of course. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and yeah, until next time, bye-bye.